Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Current Affairs Audiobooks. This channel has been created to provide updated info about various current affairs issues. Hello friends, today we will have a look at the Quad Summit which was conducted recently at Tokyo. Let us have a look at the background of the Quad Summit. The Quad grouping has its origin in an ad hoc tsunami core group which was raised in 2004 in response to the Indian Ocean earthquake and the tsunami. This could have been an early precursor to the Quad, a strategic security dialogue between Australia, India, Japan, and the US was initiated in 2007 by the then Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe with support of the Australian Prime Minister, the Indian Prime Minister, and the US Vice President Dick Cheney. During the 2017 ASEAN summits in Manila, all four former members agreed to revive the quadrilateral alliance in order to counter China militarily and diplomatically in the Indo-Pacific region, particularly in the South China Sea. Tensions between the Quad members and China have led to fears of what was dubbed as a new Cold War in the region. In a joint statement in March 2021, known as the Spirit of the Quad members described a shared vision for a free and open Indo-Pacific and a rules-based maritime order in the East and South China Seas, which the Quad members state are needed to counter Chinese maritime claims. Before the fourth Quad summit, China launched a blistering attack on the US, saying its Indo-Pacific strategy was cooked up to create division, incite confrontation, and undermine peace in what it calls as the Asia Pacific. The four Quad members have played a major role in purposefully defining the Asia Pacific as the Indo-Pacific to deepen trans-regional ties between the Indian and the Pacific Ocean areas and to deal with more effectively the rise of China, the Middle East, and Africa. The term Indo-Pacific gained traction in the political lexicon and strategic thinking of not only the Quad members but as of recently also of the ASEAN, the European Union, and the United Kingdom, and France, Germany, and the Netherlands. This was mainly used with regards to China. India and China have been having tense relations over territorial disputes for ages. Australia and China have been having a series of trade spats since Australia demanded an independent probe into the origins of COVID-19. Military tensions were also raised after November 2021 when Australia announced a deal being struck with the US and the UK to acquire nuclear-powered submarines. China recently signed a security agreement with the Solomon Islands, which is a small Pacific nation, causing concern in Australia, which might see Chinese ships docking in an area which Canberra considers as its own backyard. The Chinese and Japanese have been having a dispute over the East China Sea islets for more than a century. China has boosted its presence in the vicinity of the islands in recent decades. Japan expressed concerns about Chinese expansionism, which caused tensions in the Taiwan Strait, emphasizing the significance of peace in the region. Between the US and China, a number of issues have been existent, most notably a trade war, pandemic finger pointing, military saber rattling over Taiwan, and diplomatic spats. All these have contributed to the US-China relationship further deteriorating. These tensions have only grown since US President Joe Biden warned that if China attacked Taiwan, the US would protect it militarily. This was a statement which was later withdrawn. Coming on to the Quad Summit 2022. The Quad grouping is made up of four nations, namely US, India, Japan, and Australia. It is a strategic forum that features semi-regular summits, information exchange, and military drills. The Indian Prime Minister attended the second in-person Quad Leader Summit, which was held on 24th May 2022 in Tokyo. The key focus of the summit was development of the Indo-Pacific region, highlighting the threats like terrorism, disinformation, and territorial disputes. The Quad discussed issues such as the COVID-19 pandemic and development of the Indo-Pacific economics and threats rising across the Indo-Pacific region. Quad also focused on mutual points of convergence, the biggest of which is China. A 6 leader-level working groups have been established on COVID-19 response and global health security, climate, critical and emerging technologies, cyber threats, space, and infrastructure. Let us have a look at the key highlights of the Quad joint statement. The Quad joint statement emphasized on various initiatives for cooperation with partners in the region on free and open Indo-Pacific. It also stressed upon maintenance of freedom of navigation and overflight to meet challenges to the maritime rules-based order, including the East and the South China Sea. It further emphasized on strengthening cooperation with Pacific Island countries. It reaffirmed the UN Security Council resolutions which demands Afghan territory not to be used to threaten or attack any country or to shelter or train terrorists. It stressed upon the importance of upholding international standards on anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism consistent with the FATF recommendations. The Quad partners collectively pledged $5.2 billion to the COVAX advance market commitments. It also recognized the urgent need to address climate change as emphasized in the latest IPCC reports. The Quad Fellowship Program was officially launched, which will bring 100 students to the United States each year to pursue graduate degrees in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields. Apart from this, the Quad group agreed to work together to create an Earth observation based monitoring and sustainable development framework. The Quad also agreed on an Indo-Pacific partnership for maritime domain awareness designed to work with regional partners to respond to humanitarian and natural disasters and combat illegal fishing. With regards to climate, the Quad agreed to advance the development of clean hydrogen and clean ammonia fuels and launch a series of roundtables on mitigating methane emissions across liquefied natural gas sectors. It also agreed to cooperate to enhance capacity in the broader Indo-Pacific region to participate in high-integrity carbon markets. With respect to critical and emerging technologies and specific reference to cybersecurity, the Quad group agreed to build resilience across the four countries in response to cyber vulnerabilities and cyber threats. With respect to infrastructure, the Quad countries agreed for greater collaboration and to pursue complementary actions, including in digital connectivity, transportation infrastructure, clean energy, and climate resilience. Additionally, it has committed over $50 billion towards assistance and investment in developing infrastructure in the Indo-Pacific over the next 5 years, aimed at countering the influence China has built in recent years across continents with its Belt and Road Initiative. Let us have a look at the various initiatives which have been unveiled in the Quad Summit 2022. The Quad Fellowship Program will allow 100 students from each of the four countries to study for a graduate STEM degree in the US. The application for the fellowship program is currently underway and will close on 30th June 2022. The Indo-Pacific Partnership for Maritime Domain Awareness (IPMDA) will offer a near real-time integrated awareness picture, especially to combat illegal fishing. The Quad nations have agreed to provide 257 million COVID-19 vaccines collectively under the Vaccine Partnership Program. The bloc will continue to provide vaccine doses and it will also support a 100 million vaccine development facility to boost the Indian healthcare sector. The four nations have committed to sharing space-based Earth observation data, which will include US programs on oceanic and atmospheric monitoring, flood mapping, and land images. To conclude, Prime Minister Modi asserted that despite the adverse situation of COVID-19, the Quad countries had increased their coordination in vaccine delivery, climate action, supply chain resilience, disaster response, economic cooperation, and other areas which has ensured peace, prosperity, and stability in the Indo-Pacific. The group reaffirmed its unwavering support for ASEAN unity and centrality, and for the practical implementation of ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific. It exchanged views on regional and global situations, including the impact of the situation in Ukraine on the Indo-Pacific. They confirmed that no unilateral change of the status quo by force would be tolerated by any region, especially in the Indo-Pacific region. The four leaders shared the view that the Quad is committed to bringing tangible benefits to the region. They concurred on the importance of furthering practical cooperation in various fields and making the region more resilient as countries in the Indo-Pacific region face pressing challenges. The four leaders of the Quad concurred to hold the next Quad leaders meeting in Australia in 2023 and confirmed that they will continue to work closely together, including regular meetings by the leaders and the foreign ministers. The Chinese Navy carried out a maritime exercise in the vicinity of Japan on the day the Quad Summit was being held, which is a likely indicator of things to come in the future. Prime Minister Modi interacted with 35 business leaders in a one on one format on the sidelines of the summit. He also conducted a roundtable meet with business CEOs of Japan and discussed the possibilities of private and public private investments in India. India has also joined the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework led by the US to counter China on the sidelines of the Quad Summit. With this, we have come to the end of our discussion on the Quad Summit 2022. Please do let me know if you would like to know more about current affairs topics in the comment section. If you like the content, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. All the best. Jai Hind.